Top 5 Comedy K-Drama Part 3 is honestly one of the most exciting lists we've talked about so far. Because comedy K-dramas lately are not just about making you laugh anymore. They're mixing fantasy, romance, life struggles, and even emotional healing in ways that hit deeper than expected. And today, we have 5 very different comedy dramas that each bring their own unique flavor. From a Joseon scholar opening a modern restaurant, to chaotic military life, to friendship and money struggles, to gym romance transformations, and even a story about quitting alcohol for love. So as we go through each drama, I want you to really think about which one feels the most relatable to you, which one would make you laugh the hardest, and which one you'd actually start watching first. Because by the end of this video, I guarantee at least one of these will end up on your watch list and maybe even become your next comfort drama. Let's start with Hyo's Diner, and I have to say, this concept alone already sounds like comedy gold. Imagine being a respected intellectual from the Joseon era, living with strict rules, formal speech, and traditional values, and then suddenly waking up 400 years in the future. Not only is everything different, but somehow you end up running a restaurant in modern Korea. That alone creates endless comedy possibilities. Xiumin playing Hyo-jun is honestly a perfect casting choice because he has this natural charm and expressive reactions that work extremely well in fish-out-of-water stories. Just imagine his character reacting to smartphones, delivery apps, or even instant ramen. These small everyday things for us could be completely shocking and hilarious for him. But what makes this even more interesting is that food becomes the bridge between past and present. Food has always been emotional in Korean culture, and seeing someone from the past reinterpret modern cooking could create both funny and meaningful moments. Personally, I love time travel comedy dramas because they allow characters to question modern life from a fresh perspective. Sometimes, they even make us realize how strange our current lifestyle really is. Do you think someone from 400 years ago would admire modern life? Or would they think we've lost something important? I'm really curious how this drama balances comedy with emotional growth, because these types of stories often start funny, but become surprisingly touching. Now let's talk about New Recruit 3, which is a completely different type of comedy, and honestly, one of the most brutally honest comedy series in K-drama. Military comedy is a very specific genre, and it works best when it doesn't try too hard to be unrealistic. Instead, New Recruit thrives on showing awkward, uncomfortable, and absurd situations that feel real. Season 3, bringing back original characters while introducing new ones, is exactly what fans wanted, because the strength of this series has always been its characters. Each person represents a different personality type you'd find in real military life. From the overly confident guy who knows nothing, to the quiet observer, to the strict seniors, and the completely unpredictable recruits. What makes this show special is that the comedy comes from human behavior, not forced jokes. It's the kind of humor where you laugh because you recognize the situation. Maybe you've never been in the military, but you've definitely experienced hierarchy, pressure, or trying to survive in a system where you have no control. Personally, I think black comedy like this is important because it allows people to laugh at stressful experiences. It turns something difficult into something relatable. And if you watched previous seasons, you already know this drama doesn't hold back. It shows embarrassment, fear, and ridiculous situations in ways that feel authentic. So I want to ask you, do you prefer comedy that's exaggerated and unrealistic, or comedy that feels painfully real? Next is Good Luck. And this drama feels very different from the others because it focuses on long-term life struggles, friendship, and money, which honestly is one of the most relatable topics for adults. With 121 episodes, this is clearly a long journey, and long-form dramas like this allow deeper character development. The story of 3 friends representing different financial situations is something that reflects real society. One is rich, one is poor, and one desperately wants to be rich. That alone creates both comedic and emotional tension. Money changes relationships. It creates jealousy, insecurity, and sometimes even regret. But comedy helps soften these heavy topics. What I find interesting is how comedy can come from life's unfairness. Sometimes people make bad decisions chasing wealth, and from the outside, those mistakes can look both tragic and funny. I personally think dramas like this hit differently depending on your stage in life. If you're younger, it might just feel entertaining. But if you've experienced financial struggles, career pressure, or watching friends succeed while you feel stuck, the story becomes more personal. It makes you reflect on your own life choices. And I'm curious, do you enjoy long family-style comedy dramas like this? Or do you prefer shorter, fast-paced series? Now, this one might be the most relatable for modern viewers, especially if you've ever told yourself, I'll start working out tomorrow, and then didn't. Pump Up the Healthy Love combines fitness, romance, and comedy in a way that feels very relevant today. Lee Jun-young, as a passionate gym owner, already sets up an interesting dynamic, because gym owners in dramas are often portrayed as extremely disciplined, intense, and confident. But the real comedy comes from Jong Eun-ji's character, who is completely new to working out and decides to transform her life after facing setbacks. This kind of transformation story always works well because it reflects real struggles. Starting something new is hard. You feel awkward, embarrassed, and sometimes you want to quit immediately. Comedy naturally comes from those uncomfortable first steps. But what makes this more than just a fitness story is the emotional motivation behind it. People don't change their lives just for fun. They change because something pushed them to that point. Maybe heartbreak, failure, or feeling stuck. And I think this drama will explore that emotional side while keeping the tone light and funny. Also, gym settings create natural romantic tension. Training together, encouraging each other, and watching each other grow creates emotional intimacy. Personally, I think this drama could be both motivating and comforting. It might even make viewers reflect on their own habits. So be honest, has a drama ever motivated you to change something in your life? Finally, we have Second Shot at Love. And this drama might have the most emotionally layered comedy on this list. The idea of a self-proclaimed reasonable drinker trying to quit alcohol after reuniting with her first love, who hates alcohol, is both funny and meaningful. So-young and Gong-myung are both strong actors when it comes to romantic comedy, especially in portraying emotional vulnerability while maintaining humor. What makes this story interesting is that alcohol in Korean culture is deeply connected to social life, stress relief, and relationships. So quitting alcohol isn't just a personal choice. It affects your entire lifestyle. Comedy can come from withdrawal struggles, awkward social situations, and trying to redefine your identity without something you relied on. But deeper than that, this is a story about growth and second chances. Meeting your first love again already brings emotional tension. But trying to change yourself while reconnecting with someone adds another layer of vulnerability. Personally, I think second chance romance stories hit differently because they carry history. These characters already know each other. They already have emotional scars and memories. And comedy helps balance the emotional weight. It makes the healing process feel more natural. I think many viewers will relate to the idea of wanting to become a better version of themselves, whether for love or for their own happiness. So I want to ask you, do you believe people can truly change for love? Or do you think people only change for themselves? Looking at all 5 of these comedy dramas, what I love most is how different they are from each other. Because comedy isn't just one thing anymore. It's not just about making you laugh for a moment. It's about telling meaningful stories through humor, whether it's adapting to a new world, surviving military life, chasing financial success, transforming yourself physically and emotionally, or learning to let go of old habits for love. And that's why comedy K-dramas continue to evolve and stay relevant. So now I really want to hear from you. Which of these 5 dramas are you most excited for? Which one feels the most relatable to your life right now? And if you could only choose one to watch first, which would it be? And why?